Vivek, Chaand, Sehgal, there's a massive business reorganization which has been announced at Motherson Sumi. So let's take it across to him, find out what exactly is this all about. Mr. Sehgal, hi, morning. Good to have you on the show. Help us understand what is this reorganization that you've actually undertaken at Motherson?
Thank you very much for having me and good morning. What we have done is we have taken an approval from the board to appoint our lawyers, our investment bankers to advise us on this particular process where we thought it's a good idea to address the long-standing requests from the investors and from Sumitomo-san to simplify the company. And what we have done is, in a simple manner, vertically split the company. If the recommendation comes to the board would then assess the whole particular thing, and then we would split the company into two, make one as a domestic wiring harness business, and the all other businesses would go to Muscle 2, just for ease of reference. And SMRP which is anyway 51% owned by Motherson Sumi, would then be going to Muscle 2. And the SAMIL portion, the 49%, which is owned by the SAMIL or the Sehgal family, that will also get merged in that. So that's what we are planning to do. We are appointing the bankers and everything, and once they also agree that this is a good particular thing, then the board would recommend to do that. So it's not a done deal. It's something which we have appointed to be absolutely fair and avoid rumor mongering and all that. We have put it out in the public domain.
Total profit, Mr. Sehgal, I'm talking about not turnover. Profit comes from the wiring business or wiring harness business.
Nikunj, that is just a perception. If you actually see, it's a very well-distributed profitability of the group. Domestic wiring harness business is probably about 20% of our profit. We get our profits from SMR PBV. SMR, if you remember, has a standalone ROS of 43%. Mate, which is a part of the polymer division of Motherson Sumi, is a very profitable portion of the business also. So, all these particular things is just imagination of the people that, we only make money from wiring harness or something like that. I'm sure my customers would bear me out. We have a very tough situation every particular time. All our divisions have to really compete very hard and make profits from the sweat of our brow.
I always admired the way you managed to grow and conduct yourself a couple of years. I mean, that delivery needs no introduction. But I'm purely trying to understand this entire, demerger process from the eyes of a minority shareholder. Minority shareholder would say that, look, if this is going to be the split, what happens to the organic growth plans of Motherson Sumi, and how organically would the harness business be? Because Mr. Chaand, the way Motherson has grown it's been a combination of organic growth and inorganic growth. So I'm just trying to understand that post the demerger, how will your inorganic plans move now?
So in fact, it simplifies it and makes it easier. Sumitomo-san has a lot of respect in Japan, and they don't want to be seen in businesses which are not in their domain. So with the split, they focus on what they wanted, which was a domestic wiring harness business in India. So that will come out very individually over there. And rest, they will automatically get a bit diluted because 49% of SMR PBV also comes in. So the new Motherson or Muscle 2, as we make it, is going to be a very powerful entity. It would be a domestic and a manufacturing and also international company. So really, the shareholders and the minority shareholders need not worry at all, because everything is mirror image. So really, nobody gets anything more or less or something like that. And the value of SMR PBV is also discovered because 51% was anyway owned by Motherson Sumi Systems. So the new expansion of acquisitions or joint ventures and things like that would definitely be carried on in Muscle 2, And Sumitomo San's company would be basically Motherson Sumi and Sumitomo San together will continue focusing on the Indian growth of wiring harness. You have to also take this in the backdrop of the EV and the new technologies which are required for wiring harnesses and all that. And Sumitomo San wants to concentrate together with Motherson on that. And hence, this particular thing is something that we have done.
Exactly, how is it that you're going to value the share swap between SAMIL as well as MSS, the listed entity?
So we are appointing very renowned bankers and advisors and lawyers who are going to be taking out that valuation, because that valuation is discovered. 51% of SMR PBV is already in Motherson Sumi. So they can come out with that, and definitely we assure that, we have been very fair in the 26 years of our public history with our shareholders. I mean, if somebody had invested 25,000 rupees in 93, today the value is plus 5 crores of that particular thing. So we are not going to shortchange anybody. We will leave definitely a lot of good taste in everybody's mind and everybody's hands as well.
I want to ask you, which of the businesses are going to be a priority for you going forward from here? Between the two, then, which are going to take up more of your attention going forward?
Oh, definitely, it's very difficult to choose between children, but we would give equal attention and as required by them. One of the good things that Motherson has had is that we have an amazing array of professionals who have been long-standing with Motherson. And that particular thing gives us the confidence that even when one entity splits into two, there will be no lack of attention to any one of them. I think it will be even more. And together, I think the investor will also see the benefit of, unfettered growth in the other side and very sustained and focused attention on India on the first side.
Okay, Mr. Sehgal, we've got a sense from you as to what is the purpose behind this exercise, and you beautifully articulated that. Now let's talk about part 2, the process and the timeline. When is the board meeting on? When do you expect valuations to come through? Do you think somewhere in FY21 you will be able to split your businesses, or this is going to be a long process?
Yeah, well, one can't second guess the government and the regulatory authorities and all that. But I think basically we will immediately be appointing our bankers and the investment bankers and the lawyers. We will do that immediately. So within 2 months, we hope, 2 to 3 months, we will get a report from them. The board will then study this particular proposal, and hopefully the proposal will be approved. But if not, we also reserve the right that we may not approve and not go ahead with this particular thing also. If we don't like the consequence of this whole particular thing, we wouldn't do it. But I think basically all of the stakeholders, and by keeping it 3 months in front of the people also, we will listen a lot to the investors and investment bodies and all that. So we will then take a good judgment as to whether we should go ahead or not with this. And if we go ahead, then it takes another 6 to 8 months or 10 months. It depends upon the government, really. We have to go through NCLT and all those things. It depends upon how busy they are at that time.
Mr. Sehgal, while we have you, the last year was a very difficult one for the industry. Green shoots have been visible now, especially in pockets like Europe. Do you feel in the year ahead it's going to be one of recovery for the sector globally?
So we are in the quiet period. We have our board meeting on the 10th of February, so I would refrain from making any of those particular comments over there. But definitely Motherson Sumi Systems is definitely going to focus on automotive in the coming time, and I can assure you the coming time is great. It's going to be more high-value cars, I think, when people will opt more for electric cars and things like that. I think it's a very exciting time. We're in the midst of a very exciting period in history. So we are very, very enthused, and we are very, very charged up to go.
Always defend every time I ask you a question on future of combustion engine, right? I mean, you defend it so beautifully. It's absolutely amazing, right?
But I can assure you that combustion engine will also survive, do very well, because God forbid if there's any need, we can't say wait, my equipment is getting charged. So combustion engine is there to stay; it won't disappear.
Appreciate your time and thank you for joining us and thank you for beautifully walking us through the entire process.